My name is Sierra. I'm 16 and I'm from Ohio.
You've been homeschooled for how long?
Basically since I was born.
You're in classical conversations, right?
Yes.
And have you done classical conversations the whole time?
I have not. I started in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Okay.
So I've done it all the way through foundations and essentials and then challenge A through now I'm in 3.
What things have you gone over or studied in challenge that you studied in foundations and essentials?
Wow, almost everything integrates. I mean, the science facts go towards the chemistry, the biology that we're doing. The Latin obviously transfers over. A lot of the words are even the same, not all of them, but some of them. Like this year, we're reading through Schweigert's Patriot's History. It's like this big, and we talk about Columbus in there, but we learn a lot more detail about Columbus, which is so cool because in the sentence, like you get the basic facts. And then as you're older, you get to learn more about it. And even though I've had a lot of American history before through things like foundations, it's really cool to be able to go more in depth through the Patriots' history because obviously, it's this big, so you're going to get more than the simple fact. But for example, like we learn a history sentence about the Boston Tea Party and dumping the tea into the Boston Harbor. Well, what was really cool was we got to learn more about what caused the Boston Tea Party. And then we also learned that there was actually another tea party that was bigger, but it actually wasn't well known because Sam Adams was not there to spread the word about it, because he was the reason that the Boston Tea Harbor was so well known, because he let everybody know. I absolutely love homeschooling, wouldn't trade it for the world.
And why? Why not?
Well, for one, I love that I can do my schoolwork in my PJs. That's like the best thing ever. We get a lot longer breaks, probably because we don't take all those Monday holidays and stuff like that. You get to be around your family all the time. You don't have to sit in a classroom and spend a lot of time working with the class. When we have class time like CC, it's all very discussion based and we're sharing what we've learned, which is awesome. It keeps the accountability, but yet we don't have to be in a classroom every single day from 9 to 5.
Got it. And how often do you guys meet?
Just once a week on Thursdays.
Okay. And from when to when?
Our classes start at 8:30 and we go till 3. I would have to say probably just the awesome discussions that we have over the years, especially because we've had students in and out or who join later into the challenge years, which is awesome. You get different perspectives on everything, and I absolutely love the discussion that we have. Our class this year is 4 students, so
Yeah.
we have 3 girls and 1 boy.
That's great. Why do you feel so, comfortable or confident in your homeschool journey?
And with all due respect to public schools and all that, I think I get more rigorous education through being homeschooled. It can be tailored to what I specifically need to grow. And then also, it's definitely more flexible, which I absolutely enjoy. I don't have to sit in a classroom all day and waste time. And we still do fun field trips. I'm obviously not unsocialized, which is a very common myth about homeschoolers that really cracks me up. I don't know. I love homeschooling. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It is specifically tailored to how you need to grow as a person. Math and science are more of a struggle for me, and I'm better at reading and writing. And so I do more focus upon the math and science side of things just because I've been reading since I was, yay high, and it helps make me a good writer. And that's something that I enjoy, so I don't have to work as hard at it. So I spend more time on the math and science things, whereas if I was in public school, I would have to spend the same amount of time on everything because that's just how the system works. For example, the other week, last week, we were doing something in Latin, and we were studying our Latin during the Latin hour, and right after we do Latin, we do our logic. And so through the logic, there were Latin words. And so we were able to correlate those, and they overlapped. They also show up in history, Latin shows up in science, it's all over. And it's really cool that, if I didn't take Latin, I wouldn't be able to fully understand what they mean. And it's so cool, especially when you see a word in history or something like that, you can go back to the root of the word because you know Latin and find out what the word really means instead of it just being some big long word that nobody understands. This is the Shakespeare Retreat. We are studying Macbeth and A Comedy of Errors, and I'm so excited about it. I absolutely love Shakespeare, and I'm thrilled to be here with some other challenge students. We're having a blast. That's awesome because, again, it's that whole aspect of you get the discussion. It's not just that you're sitting down and reading something and writing a book report on it. We're sitting down and having a discussion about the the actions and the feelings of the characters, and then also how it relates to us and how we can apply the lessons that we've learned to our lives. Oh, I would probably have to say Much Ado About Nothing. I have not read them all. I've actually read, maybe only 4 or 5. But I definitely, that one would be my favorite so far.
And why?
I think it's very funny. It's one of Shakespeare's comedies. I enjoy his comedies more than his tragedies, generally. And I find it very funny. I love the witty back and forth that goes on between Beatrice and Benedict. That would probably be my favorite part. Obviously, seeing some people that I don't get to see all the time, meeting lots of new people, but being in the fellowship of other Christians is fantastic. Obviously, like having devotions every morning, and then the discussions about, I love Shakespeare in general, but even if we were discussing something else, I would still enjoy the discussions because it's great exercise for your brain, and then it's also fun. You learn new things, you learn about the different people who you're discussing things with, so you get to learn more about them while also discussing a fun topic. We were working on defining our terms. We talked about love, freedom, and law. That was an interesting discussion. It was very, very informative. Learned a lot.
And in the context of what, do you remember what Bible passage we went over? Galatians 5?
Was it Galatians 5?
1
I was just going to say,
yeah.
I knew it was chapter 5. I was trying to remember what book it was.
Yep.
Well, I am a member of American Heritage Girls, and so they have an award that's...
What is American Heritage Girls?
Okay. Well, it's a Christian scouting organization. It's kind of a Christian alternative to Girl Scouts. And so we do badge work like the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and that kind of thing. And then as you get older, the highest award that you can earn in AHG is the Stars and Stripes Award, which is equivalent to the Boy Scout Eagle Scout Award, if you're familiar with that. And then what we have to do for that is write a spiritual walk essay, compile a resume, request different recommendation letters, and then also the biggest part of that is that we have to implement a project that includes at least 100 hours of community service and 10 hours of supervision of other youth, which would be, like other girls my age, that I have to supervise for 10 hours. So for my project, I picked a humanitarian project. You can do like construction kind of thing, but that's not really my thing. So I am putting together a small business workshop, and its goal is to get more small businesses started in the area to help generate income and jobs and lower the poverty levels in the area. Well, I'm bringing in speakers who are qualified to talk about what it takes to start a small business, because obviously I'm not. And so, I'm bringing in a lawyer, a banker, an accountant, and there's a group that mentors new small business owners too. So they're coming in to speak and help inform the audience about what small business ownership takes. And then I'm also bringing in a panel of successful business owners from the area to talk about what they've done and how they've been successful, and to help show the audience that they can do it too. It's not just a bunch of people coming in and saying you can do this. There's actually examples of how people have done it. And then also I am providing lunch and childcare for everybody who comes, and then, 0 to 11 childcare. And then also I am bringing in different booth organizations, for example, different banks or organizations that can help support new small businesses, so that they can make contacts and meet people, because that's the best way to make sure that you get the end result that you're looking for, is to create relationships.
And network and stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome. And are you the one who's put all these people together?
Yes, absolutely. I've had a little help. I went to talk to some people in the beginning who were able to point me to, you should go talk to so-and-so here. But I have, made all the phone calls, talked to all the people, met with lots of them, and that sort of thing. And then, obviously, I'm partnering with an organization that's kind of heading up the project, because, I have to have a name behind who's doing it. So I'm working with the Lutheran Benevolent Society. They're based in my church congregation. And then, I did fundraisers and stuff like that to help with the expense of the project. And then I also applied for a grant from the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, which I received, which was awesome. I was so excited about that. And it's great that there are so many organizations that really want to be a part of it and to help support that community. It's fantastic.
And so your grant, what was your grant for?
$2,000.
And what was the purpose of it?
Oh, well, the purpose of the grant is to help fund the project, obviously. You know, help with the childcare expenses, the food expenses, the cost of bringing in speakers, and the facility fees, that sort of thing. I would start by saying, hi, my name's Sierra Broman, and I would like to talk to you about an exciting event that's coming up to see if you want to be a part of it. And then basically what I do is tell them, you know, hey, I'm having this small business workshop. Here's the goal for the workshop. I'm interested in, you know, having you speak or having you talk on the panel if it's somebody who's a business owner or something like that. And then I do usually at some point in the conversation end up telling them that I'm 16 because a lot of people think that I'm not when they talk to me over the phone. And so they'll start asking me like, oh, what business do you work for? And I'm like, well, I'm 16, I'm still in high school. You know, yeah, I'm a junior, so I don't even, I do babysitting and stuff like that, but that's not like working for, I don't even work for like an actual company, so.
That is awesome. Yeah. What drives you?
Well, obviously, having grown up in the community where my church is, I have gotten to know a lot of the people there and also the needs of that community. And it's definitely a goal of mine to help continue to revitalize that area. I love to help people, and I would love to see the area continue to grow back to what it used to be.
Is this something that could potentially be duplicated over and over again?
I would absolutely love to see it duplicated over and over. Obviously, it's not my goal to continue to run it over and over. In a couple of years I'm going away to college. But that's part of why I'm partnering with the Lutheran Benevolent Society, is so that hopefully I can turn my plans over to them and they can help continue to see the goal of more small businesses in the area. Continue to start it. Whether that means another workshop like this is held, this one is geared towards adults, maybe we gear one towards some teens, because again, it's being taught generation to generation, so if we can raise up the younger generation, then they can teach their kids, and that sort of thing. But I'm not sure what that looks like, but absolutely I would love to see it carried on.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, as far as like going to work as a job, I don't really know. I would love someday to be a wife and mom. That's definitely, the plan. But, wherever God takes me.
What has been the hardest aspect of this project?
Of my project with HG? I would have to say that it's getting the word out to people. It's really easy to, when you have a contact, to go and talk to them and say, hey, I want you to come and speak at this event. Or to say, I need you to come and volunteer for me. The hardest thing to do is reach the community. There's a lot of advertising things that I've done, but it's still hard for, just to reach people and to get the interest going. So I would say that has definitely been the hardest part, beyond like the paperwork and stuff. Initially, on the American Heritage Rules side of things, I had to submit my idea to them when I first said, hey, I want to do a workshop. I basically had to submit that to them and have it approved. And then I also had to write out, then after that idea was approved, I had to write out, and however many pages it took, a plan of exactly what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. Well, actually, at the beginning, they were like, are you sure that you can do this? Because my project goes a little bit above and beyond what's required of the Stars and Stripes project, but my project is this big because I wanted it to be that big, and so I basically got the, I'm not really sure you can do this kind of answer, and so I had to go back to them and say, you know what, I don't really know you, you don't really know me. I was talking to somebody in a corporate office somewhere else, and I said, you know what, I can do this, and so, with that confirmation from me, I did receive permission because I went and told them, basically, this is what I want to do, and I am going to do it, and here's how I'm going to do it. So. And
has anyone told you that you can't do it?
Beyond myself at points. Obviously, there are times when I'm like, are you crazy for doing this? Beyond the initial, like, a couple people in AHG thinking that I couldn't do it, not really. Everybody is mostly supportive. Everybody I talk to, even like when I'm calling people to ask them to come be a part of the event, generally it's either shock or surprise or admiration that I get, which is so cool to get while I'm doing this project. It's very encouraging. So I love that everybody is so supportive of it. Well, I would have to say that being homeschooled has definitely given me the time to do this project. And it's also nice to have the flexibility of CC because, I mean, at times it is oh, my project is important, but my schoolwork's important too, and they kind of butt heads a little bit. And so with the flexibility of CC, it's awesome that I can say, you know what, we're just not going to write that paper this week. And, you know, obviously with the approval of my mom. I'm not just sitting here writing off my homework. But that is nice. I love the flexibility that that gives me because also, all the people that I would need to talk to contact, to come to the event, work during the day. And if I went to school, I wouldn't be able to contact them.